Hey everybody, welcome back to the Harmonious Path with Jen. Today I want to talk about feelings, and specifically those so-called negative feelings like mad, sad, or hurt and afraid. So think about the last time you felt an intense emotion. What did you do with it? Did you allow yourself to feel it? Or did you just push it down and try to distract yourself and try to just forget about it? Maybe tell yourself you were being too sensitive, you just needed to suck it up? Well, I'm going to guess if you're anything like me, you probably chose the latter. I know that's what I used to do all the time when I was sad or mad, I mean, basically any negative feeling that I just didn't want to deal with, I would just ignore it and try and push it down, you know, have a couple glasses of wine, go to bed early and just sleep, anything to get away from it. But when you push the emotion down like that, it doesn't go away. It just goes deep down and festers in that dark, cold place where you've buried it. And one of these days, it's going to come back, rear its ugly head, and you will just snap. Somebody will say something insensitive, and you'll just blow up and snap at them. Or somebody might say something that hurts your feelings a little bit, and you find yourself just this mess of sobbing tears and snot, and you don't know why it affected you that way. Well, that is that emotion that you shoved down, buried deep down, coming back up and saying, hey, guess what? I'm still here. You tried to ignore me, but I didn't go away, and now it's time for you to deal with me. But what if you, instead of wasting all that energy trying to ignore and push down and hide from that emotion and run away from it, what if instead you actually allowed yourself to feel it? Like truly, truly feel the emotion in your body. So I want to talk about and teach you a little exercise that I learned through my coaching from Your Infinite Life, and I've seen this in other meditations online. I think it's a fairly common, it's obviously not at all common, but it's, in the self-help community, it's well known. It's, healing through feelings or feeling your feelings. It has all kinds of names, but I'm going to just talk you through what you do, and then I would ask you or invite you to try this on your own time after this video. So what I want you to do is think of a time you felt mad. Really picture that moment. Where were you? Who were you with? What was the situation? What were the sounds and sights and smells around you? Bring that situation back in vivid Technicolor mind. Now, allow yourself to feel that anger. Feel the feeling of being mad. Where in your body do you feel it? Is it your stomach? Maybe it's your chest or your head. Figure out where you're feeling it, and then just put your hand over that place. You can do one hand, you can do both hands, whatever feels right to you. Just put your hand there and close your eyes. And then what I want you to do is take a few deep breaths and then feel that feeling and push it down through your body, all the way down and out through your feet. Take a deep breath, feel that feeling, and push it up so it comes out through your head. And do this as many times as you need to do, as long as you need, until you feel that the feeling has completely dissipated from your body. Now take another deep breath. How do you feel? I know every time I do this, I feel a lot calmer and a lot more peaceful afterwards. Now, that's not saying it's just like, oh yeah, I'm mad, I'm gonna just sit here and feel it. It's hard. I'm not gonna, it's a difficult thing. People don't like feeling these so-called, negative feelings. And there have definitely been quite a few times where I really just wanted to go pop open that bottle of wine, have a couple glasses, and call it an early night. But instead, I encouraged myself to just sit with that feeling. And I made a deal with myself. I said, do this exercise. do the feelings exercise, sit with it, feel it through, allow it to move through your body. And then if you still want to have a glass of wine, go ahead and have a glass of wine. So I kind of have to bribe myself a little bit sometimes. It's not, and there are still times when I don't even think about it. I'm just, nope, I'm just gonna color, I'm just gonna do what I want to do, play a silly little game on my phone. Nobody's perfect. I do not have this just down like the back of my hand. But I definitely can tell you that when I do make a little deal with myself, when I do encourage myself to do it, I always feel calmer, more peaceful at the end of it, and with a clearer mind. So what can we learn from these emotions? Yes, this exercise is great, and it helps you to move through things a lot more quickly, to not allow negative feelings to fester inside of you. But what else can we get from this? There's a lot that we can learn from our emotions. Now there's 5 core emotions: mad, sad, afraid, hurt, and happy. Any other emotion is just a variation of one of those 5 core feelings. So for example, rage would obviously be a form of mad. Anxiety, anxious, would be a form of afraid. So I'm going to talk about each one of these a little bit and what we can learn from these. So when you feel mad, that allows you to see and experience your inner strength. And that allows you to be able to more strongly set boundaries and ask for what you want. So for example, let's say you have an idea for a project at work that's going to make your team run more efficiently, and you go to your boss and you tell your boss about this idea, and he or she just immediately is like, oh no, no, we don't want to do that. Just writes it off, doesn't even think about it, doesn't even look at your proposal. No, you might feel a whole lot of different emotions with that, but let's go with mad. I know I would definitely be mad if that happened to me. I'd be like, oh man, you jerk, you didn't even look at it. So when you feel that mad though, that lets you know that there's something you can do about this, and you want to push it a little more. You want to ask for more. And when you sit and feel that feeling of mad and let it move up and down out through your body, you will then have the strength to, whatever the situation, to set boundaries. In this situation, to ask for what you want. So then you can go back to your boss and say, hey, I really felt like you brushed me off. I'd appreciate it if you would please take some time to read my proposal. And then if you still agree that it's not in the team's best interest, then I'll accept that. But I would appreciate if you would take the time to read it, because I took the time to write this up in detail. However you want to phrase it. So sad tells you how much you care. So let's say you haven't seen your best friend in a while, and you've had this really fun night out planned for a while, and you've really been looking forward to it, and the day comes and your friend gets sick. Now you're probably going to be very disappointed, which is a form of sad. But once you allow yourself to feel that, you could just wallow and grab that bottle of wine and a bag of chips and sit on the couch and watch Netflix all night. Or you can sit with that feeling, feel it, and then you will know, beyond a shadow of a doubt, you'll know what it is that you truly care about and what is truly important to you. Afraid helps you to experience your open heart and your vulnerability as a strength. This is where true courage comes from. Courage does not come from not being afraid. So I really love swimming, but I'm scared of heights. So let's say I had friends when I was younger that we'd go to the public pool and there was a high diving board. They had a lower one, and then they also had the high dive. I don't really know, it was probably 25 feet. I don't really know exactly how high it was. Now some of my friends would get up there and they'd just, climb up, walk out the little board and just jump right off. It didn't scare them. They weren't afraid of it. It didn't take them any courage to jump off that high dive. But when I went up there, I was, and still am, terrified of heights. but I've always kind of pushed myself a little bit. And I would, you know, very shakily climb my way up the ladder and very cautiously walk out to the end of the diving board. And I'd kind of look down over the edge and I'd think about it for a minute and then I'd jump. That took courage because I was scared. I was scared of that jump. That takes courage. Hurt shows the depth of your love. When you ignore your hurt, when you just push it down, that's not showing love to yourself. But when you acknowledge your hurt and when you allow yourself to feel it, to truly feel it, and let it move through you, that is showing yourself deep love. When you acknowledge and care for your hurt heart, that is a deep, deep act of self-love. This allows you to communicate from the depths of your magnificent being. But what about happy? Should you do this exercise with happy? I mean, that's a good thing, right? You don't want happy to move out of your body, do you? Well, no, I mean, you don't want it to move out of your body, but you do want to let it move all the way through you. So yes, you do still want to do this exercise when you're feeling happy. Or maybe, it doesn't have to be in that exact moment. It could be later that evening when you go home. But try this with happy feelings as well. Think of a time that you were just really joyful and happy. Whatever brings your heart joy. Maybe you were at a concert or you were out having a couple drinks and dinner with your friends. Feel that feeling and do the same exercise. Where do you feel that happiness? Put your hand there. Breathe deep breaths. Let it move down and out and up and out. And this allows you to truly feel that gratitude and appreciation and joy. And it allows that feeling to truly embed itself into your body and into your heart and your mind. So that way, when things maybe aren't going so well and life looks pretty bleak, you can remember that moment and you can remember that feeling and know that, yes, I am capable of feeling happy and I will feel happy again. So go ahead and try this. Try it with each of the 5 core feelings and see how it feels for you. And leave a comment. Let me know. Have you done this before? Is this a new concept for you? How do you deal with your emotions? What are some other ways that you might do to help move through them rather than just ignoring them? So leave a comment. Let me know. And until next time, be kind to yourself and those around you, and let your light shine for all the world to see. Bye.